charged it back up. This was about the middle of last week, and now they say that it is not working again, and the customer thinks it's completely out of Freon again. So we're going to swing out here and see if it is out of refrigerant again. If it is, we're going to pressurize it, leak check, and see what we can find. If we can't find a leak, and the valves look like they've been tampered with again, we're probably going to put those locking surface caps on there. But like I said, we're on our way out there, and hopefully we can get some good footage.
This is that first call I was talking about. It's a Bryant system. The customer thought it may be out of refrigerant again. When I came up here, I don't know if you can see that, but probably about 1.5 inches of water in that pan, and the float switch is tripped. So they don't have an emergency drain line, so this water can never drain. So got the shop vac up here. I'll suck all that water out of that drain pan and find out why it's got water in there. The pan inside the unit, the primary pan, has no water in it, but it's probably been off for a couple days, so it could have dried up. The trap didn't have a whole lot of water in it either. There's a whole lot of dirt, and there is no secondary. It doesn't pipe back into the pan. I just popped that cap off right there. So we'll get this water out of here and see if we can find out how the water's getting there. Just got all the water out the pan, poured water in, and look at that. Bloop, bloop, bloop. And you can see where the float switch normally is. It's full of water. We got all the water out the pan now, and gonna clear this drain line out. Find out why that easy trap didn't trip. I don't know if you can hear it. Seems to be working properly, but sometimes they get crossed a little bit and it won't lift that float up, so we may end up changing that. But let's grab some nitrogen and clear this bad boy out. Alright, she's draining now. Blew it out with nitrogen in the attic, sucked it out here with the shop vac. We'll go up in the attic and flush it with a bunch of water. Make sure that anything that I broke up in that drain line gets flushed out, and we'll fire up and check the charge. But look at that. It's like a hole in the brick where the line set went in. Some sort of critter's got a nest in there. You see all the insulation for the inside wall, and it's a mess. But I'm not here for that, so let me get this thing draining properly and check this charge. She's up and running now. Been running for close to 5 minutes now. Don't worry about the superheat. I don't have my T1 probe in there. It's over in the truck. I brought one over here, but the required subcooling is 12. So it's been running for close to 5 minutes. Got about 9 subcooling, so we're getting there. I'm gonna let it run for a while. I didn't have to replace the easy trap. The switch just had a bunch of dirt and debris on it, so it wouldn't lift when it was supposed to lift. So what happened is the primary trap clogged, and since that switch didn't shut the unit off, it overflowed into the emergency pan, and luckily it had an emergency float switch to shut the unit off. But I removed about somewhere between 13 and 15 gallons of water from that pan up there. So, but flushed the drain out with about 2 gallons of water. She's draining like a champ now, and looks like the refrigerant charge is going to be pretty good. I'll pack up my stuff and let it run for a while, but luckily the landscaper crew was here because all these bushes are surrounding it. They were all about this high, and they all came out to the actual unit, so I couldn't get to it at all. So while they were here, I got one of them to come over here and trim me out a little workspace, so that worked out pretty good. Didn't know I was going to have to bring hedge trimmers to a service call, but you never know what you're going to run into, so they took care of it for me, and made it a lot easier to have a little workspace over here instead of standing in these holly bushes, which seems like down here, I'm not sure if it's everywhere, but every air conditioning unit you go to, if it's got bushes around it, they're holly bushes. The ones with the thorns on the end of the leaves. You get ate up by them all the time, but we're good to go, so I'm going to let it run. We're at 11 now, so I'll be out of here shortly.
We're headed to call number 2 today. Still in Myrtle Beach area. It's going to be a residential call this time. The customer said that they don't think either one of their 2 systems is working. A lot of times, one system, like their main level, won't be working, and it'll seem like the other system won't be able to keep up because it's too much of a load on it when it's really warm outside like it has been. So we'll swing out there. We should be there in a few minutes and see if they have 2 systems down or if it's just one system down. We had some thunderstorms go through the other day, so maybe they have 2 bad capacitors or something like that. But 9 times out of 10, when you get these calls, only one of the systems is down. They have a maintenance agreement with us. We did the maintenance like 2 months ago, close to 3 months ago, so we'll swing out here and see what we see, and maybe we'll get some more footage today.
We're out here on this call that they said 2 systems weren't working, and they were right. Plane to go over. See that bulge dual run capacitor right there? That's preventing this one from running. And you can see that capacitor looks good. I haven't checked it yet, but when I turned this one on, the compressor came on, but the fan didn't. You can see it's got a separate run capacitor for the fan. I'm not sure how well you can see that, but that's bulged out pretty good. So it looks like we got a bad fan cap on the upstairs unit and a bad dual run on the downstairs unit. And you can see if I turn this one on, or you can hear rather, compressor starts, no fan. So without the fan, it'll overheat that compressor. It'll only run for a couple minutes. It'll either go off on high pressure, internal relief, where the pressure builds up too high. If it doesn't have a pressure switch, high pressure switch, or the compressor will overheat and shut off, whichever one of the 3. But one of those 3 will happen. But we'll go ahead and change out this 7.5. We'll check this capacitor, make sure that's good for the compressor, and change out that dual run, and we'll double check the charges. Like I said, we did a maintenance on these units like close to 3 months ago, but it's been in the hundreds, and these capacitors are evidently designed to fail when it's really hot outside. So we'll go ahead and pop some new ones in and fire them up. Alright, here's our 7.5 cap that looked like it was a little swollen. You can see the top is bulged up on it. You see she's got a little bit of a wobble to her. Just if anybody's curious, you can see how the top's nice and recessed on the new one compared to the old one. It's got a little bit of a bulge to it. Terminals are nice and straight on that one. And that's just physically looking at them, obviously. But we have our meter out too. just to humor anybody that's watching. If I can do this with one hand. Since it's not flat, it's wobbling all around. And you can see nothing. I'll check the new one. 7.49. So we'll pop the new one in, fire her up, and we'll change the cap on the other one. And like I said, I'll go ahead and double check the compressor capacitor. Should have just pulled the start wire from the compressor that goes to the capacitor, pulled that off. This is a, what is it? I don't know if you can read it. 40 plus 5. And the 40 is doing 39.4. So that's still good. If that was weak or out of range, I would just put in a 40 plus 7.5 and get the separate run capacitor for the fan out of there, because there's not a whole lot of places to put it. But yeah, we'll go ahead and fire this bad boy up. Capacitor's all hooked up, and firing the hole. And there you go. And like I said, I'll double check the refrigerant charge on them just so I don't assume that they're good. But we're one cooling now and one more to go. Alright, this is the bad dual run. 45 plus 7.5, 370. Just use all 440s. No reason to carry both. But you can see how bulged up that was. Bottom's warped too. But that's just a silver paperweight now. Got the new one in there. And thermostat's calling. Put the disconnect in. And system number 2 back in business. And like I said before, we'll check the charges on both of them, make sure they're good, and I'm out of here.
Alright, all finished with that 2-bag capacitors call. Both those units are good. Refrigerant charge, amp draws, all that stuff is good. So it'll take a little while to cool down, but they'll be happy. That's one of the exceptions. Normally 9 times out of 10, when they have 2 systems and they say both of them are down, more than likely just one's down, like the main level, and the other one can't keep up. In this case I was wrong. Both systems were actually down, so that's not something you like to come home to after a vacation, but they were both back up and running. The customer's happy. So now we're going to head up the road a few miles to a leaking water call. I believe it's a Bryant mini split leaking water, so we'll swing over there and take a look and hopefully get this one resolved pretty quick.
Here's the wall mounted unit. You can see the watermark down the wall, but that's old. That's not from this issue. Their issue, she said. If you can see that drip of water right there. She said it's dripping out of there. That's why she has the bucket down here to catch it. So we'll open her up and see why she's dripping there. See, it's kind of green up there. Looks like it's been possibly leaking there for a little while. So we'll pop this cover off and see what's going on. I'm not sure how well you're going to be able to see this. Took the faceplate off the wall mounted air handler. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see that or not. That drain pan is full to the top with water. And you can see the water shaking back there when I shake the unit. Yep, full to the top. So it looks like it's been overflowing and dripping right there. It's always good to come into an attic and they have a thermometer on the wall. It's like 110. Which isn't too bad yet. So this drain line, move this out of the way. I'll stop it for a minute and get back there and show you. Well, that's the drain line. It has like a vinyl tubing that comes down onto a nipple, and then it comes into the 3/4 inch PVC, but I'll climb in there and take a better look. Alright, we'll pop that line off of there. You can see there's a little bit of slime and junk on there, but it's not blocked. I think it's blocked somewhere up there right where it comes out, because technically that's supposed to fall as soon as it gets out the back of the unit, I'm pretty sure, instead of resting on that 2x4. So what I'm going to do is I have another one of these barb fittings in my pocket. I'm going to take that, hook that up to that vinyl tubing, and then hook the shop vac up to the end of it and clear out that entire line right there. And hopefully that works. We'll see. Alright, we fired up the shop vac a couple times, and if you can see, now the pipe's full of water. And draining away. So it had to be stopped up somewhere up there at the top, so we'll give it a couple more jolts with the shop vac and clean up that that barb fitting right there. We should be good to go. Alright, we got this Dinosaur ICP package unit. This is how it was when I got up here. Another company's been out here messing with it. Panels are down there. It's actually Tempstar ICP, same difference. No Freon, or no refrigerant rather. It's all oily down here, and I can see where they bent that out, and I guess we're gonna fix it, attempting to fix it, something like that, but never did. So got the nitrogen out here, we're gonna pressure test it and make sure that's where it's leaking, and I guess we'll go about fixing it. Nice capacitor clamp right there. It's high dollar. So, alright, let's get to it. Not sure if we'll be able to see that on tape, but I see some bubbles prairie dogging out of that little hole down there. So, we'll see if we can fix this or not. And cut that steel off of there. Well, that was the only leak I could find. The boys were real nice when they left this unit with the panels open. The evaporator coil is right in there, return duct's right back there, so they just left it all disassembled so rain, whatnot, anything can go in there, but the customer doesn't want us to fix it. She wants a quote on a replacement unit. It's a pretty big leak, about 10 minutes or so, it's dropped about 10 psi, so yeah, it's a pretty darn big leak. I like how they just leave their parts up here, because they changed that dual run